And my audio. Nice. Let's restart that. Nothing can go right today. Nothing can go right.
Ugh,
You know,
this is great.
I was just telling Lauren that I'm not a very superstitious person normally. Black cat crossing the road, don't care. Ladders, going under ladders, don't care. This Leafs team, this stream tonight started off with a mute mic, started off with a crap showing. This is the second year in a row that I've been excited for a Leafs Halloween game. Halloween being one of my favorite holidays in the year. I get dressed up, I'm excited. I have my banana costume. You love it. Everyone loves it. And then they do this. Oh,
And
why
it
do I
sounds
put
like
on the costume? Why don't I just put on a paper bag over my head?
you could just wear like SDPN merch obsessively like I do. And it sounds like you're not superstitious, but maybe you're beginning to come a little stitious.
Yeah, I a little bit, maybe a lot. This is the second game or the second Halloween game in 2 years that we had this crap. Like I'm just gonna pull up a picture, Lauren. If you're on YouTube, you'll see this in a couple seconds.
Oh no.
This was me and Armand last year, where
I
the
was
Leafs.
watching that stream.
Yeah, we blew a 3-1 lead to Anaheim, a team that was on a 7-game losing streak. That was us. You want
Yeah.
me to recreate that? I can recreate that. All right,
No,
let's do that.
you know what? For posterity's sake, maybe this is like the Freaky Friday thing, right? It's the Freaky Friday effect. You need to just, yeah, this is good. This is what we need. So, Harnish, you sad little banana. My goodness. Welcome to Game Over. We have a banana split over on the bed. Um, I'm Lauren. The depressed banana is Harnish. Thank you for being here on your Halloween. I'm sorry that you had to watch that game. I'm sorry that we had to watch that game, and now we have to talk about it. I mean, the good thing is there's lots to talk about because they were so bad. So bad.
I stopped
So
making
bad.
notes.
And I can't believe I'm smiling right now. Like, 10 minutes ago, I was sitting on my couch, Harnish, and I was seriously, when you just hold your face?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's what I was doing.
Just
And then I
despair,
was like,
right?
okay, here we like the game didn't even end. And I like opened my drawer and pulled out the microphone. I had to put my stuff away because my cat is a psychopath. So I'm like, the game is still going. And I'm like, there's 4 minutes left. I don't care. Nothing's gonna happen because even though it was 4-1, there was just no way that the Leafs were going to pull anything good out of that game.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It was just bad. It was bad. The puck management was bad. The power play was really, really, really bad. All of our skaters were bad. All of the ice was really bad. I don't know how many players fell over tonight. It was at least half a dozen.
Yeah.
At least half a dozen. And it was just bad. And it's I'm picking hair off of my microphone because I'm so upset about how bad this game was and how bad they played, and that the fact that people paid to be there tonight. Some people, you know what some people did? I want you to just like fester on this for like 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
A couple parents at some point bought their kids tickets and they're like, kids, we're not going trick-or-treating. You don't get a pillowcase full of candy. Nope. You get to go watch the Leafs take a crap on center ice. Like, they were, to quote Rachel Dory, they were butt cheeks, okay? Sad, old, saggy, old man butt cheeks tonight.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, it was so bad.
I think Steve had
so
a
bad.
great tweet to sum up this whole game. He said, "This game is the most disconnected, joyless, purposeless nonsense that they've played in a long time." Sorry if you were in the building for this. I dressed up for this. Lauren, we made notes on this. We were forced to watch this game. This sucks for us too. This sucks
I didn't
for.
even get to the bottom of my page. Look at this.
Yeah, I wrote
I didn't
down
get to the bottom of the page.
on my page. The first two periods I had notes on it. After the second half, that second period, it's just crap. The Leafs scored. They got scored on again. Oh, look, Tavares, he was able to get one back. At least we didn't get shut out.
Yes,
But
we
more
continue
crap.
the streak. That's the only good thing that came from this game, is we have continued the streak of not getting shut out in like 157 games or something stupid. That's the only positive thing we can say about this game.
Well,
I
actually,
challenge
there is
anybody.
another streak. There is another streak. Nylander,
This better
that
be good.
Tavares goal, they gave Nylander an assist. So technically, He took the record in Leafs history for 9 games to start the
Did they
season.
actually change
They
that?
did
Because I
change it.
thought by the end they didn't.
They did change it. So there's one positive, hey? Look at that. Well done. We get a little cookie for our pain and suffering, eh?
Nick has the best comment in the chat right now. A Halloween horror show.
Yeah.
It is what you're here for. Happy Halloween. Welcome to Game Over. We're so happy you're here. I'm so glad you didn't have to go to the game. And if you went to the game, I'm sorry. But they should be more sorry. Like we could I can't imagine paying for a game and going and it's like that. Like
Yeah. Well, I mean,
let's talk about the game. Let's
exactly.
talk about the game. Should we do that?
Yes. The first goal of the game. Can it be more horrifying than a guy 27 years old played 88 games in the NHL and
over multiple years?
Yeah, this was the game where he gets his first goal in his NHL career. I mean, well done, brother. You got your first goal. I'm really happy for you. It just sucks that it has to be against the Leafs. Is that not the most Leafs way to have your first goal or whatever? Against any team, it had to be the Leafs, right?
Yeah. I mean, something ridiculous is bound to happen tonight. It was either going to be something like this, or like Trevor Moore gets like a Gordie Howe hat trick, or an actual hat trick. I mean, Philip Deneau also scored. We're going to talk about that. Not that we have to wait long after the first goal for the second goal to happen. Less than 3 minutes later. Like, yeah. Yep. And right off the beginning of the game, what happens? Leafs get a power play. What happens in that power play?
Nothing.
Nope. 0 sustained zone time.
Isn't that crazy?
And do you know why? Do you know why I think there what might be a contributing factor to that?
Tell me.
There's a little. It feels like there's a little itch in the back of my cranium because it feels like there's something that I always talk about that they've done again, and I just can't put my finger on it. But I think it might have to be about their zone entry decision type.
Drop back pass?
Yeah.
Did I
like
hit
the
it?
double?
The double? Yeah.
The double. Yep. It's almost like trying to get all 5 of your guys across the blue line at the exact same time isn't going to work a lot of the time. And when you're playing against a team like the Kings, dumping and chasing is not going to work. And they did not adapt at any point throughout the game. Like the Leafs got how many penalties? 4?
Yeah.
At least 3.
They got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5. Yeah.
5.
How much time did they get off of, like, sustained zone pressure time did they get off of a double drop back entry tonight? 0. 0. Now, part of that, credit where credit's due, the Kings have excellent stick management. But, like, that should be on your pre-scouting report, right?
Especially for a
team. They have people that do that.
Yeah, and especially the Leafs are the 6th best team in the league in terms of power play. Like they have the 6th most power play goals with 9, right? This is our bread and butter so far this season, and to get shut out the way that they have, I mean, I know that the Kings are a great team. They're a fantastic team, but what I am looking at is effort, right? Like how many times did we see one of our guys falling on the ice, mishandling a puck, not completing passes? Like that was the entire story of that first period. Just no puck completion, no like sustained pressure like you were saying, and just no effort. It was just a wet fart that we saw on display, especially that first period. And coming back from a road trip, a 5-game road trip, the longest road trip of the season. You had a fantastic road trip. We were like 3-1-1. You're back home in your barn. You're back home with your fans that are missing you, loving you, cheering you guys on, and you put on such a bad performance that they are booing you at the end of the first period. How crazy is that?
Like they had a good road trip. Like they didn't win as many as we had hoped they would, but 3-1-1 for the first road trip of the year is not bad. It's better than I think any of us really expected. I was expecting them to come home like 2-2-1. That's what I was expecting. So I was pleasantly surprised when they had 3 wins. But like you said, they come home, you get to sleep in your own bed. You would think that would have a positive effect, but it was like, it's the amount of effort that was being put in by the Kings, the almost like borderline desperation, but controlled desperation.
Yeah.
Right? There's the controlled desperation and frantic desperation, which is where the Leafs were for 55 minutes of the game tonight.
That's a really good point.
Like controlled, and then chaotic, just panic. Right? Even though it seems like it's a fine line, or maybe double line if you're talking about like a hockey blade kind of scale, like the difference between the two was astronomical. Like tonight, the Leafs did not look like a playoff team.
Oh yeah,
They
forget about a playoff team. They
And
did not look like a top half of the league team.
And the going into the game tonight, the Leafs are 5-2-1 to start the season. The Kings are 4-2-2. Like we're almost identical. And now we will be basically identical. Oh, they have one more overtime loss than us. But they'll be tied in wins. They're tied in regular losses. Like they played so much better. They skated circles around the Leafs tonight. They played circles. They passed circles. Their goal scoring, their communication, the placement of the players where they knew that they were going to be. There was no disconnection. I don't know how many passes John Klingberg tried to make tonight to fucking nowhere.
Exactly. And you.
Oh, sorry.
No, don't, like you talked about these bad plays that they're just not thinking. Like the first two goals, right? The England goal. Realistically, that's a bad shot. That's a bad backhand shot that Woll should be stopping and would have stopped if it wasn't for Gio making a dive and play to get a stick on it. Yeah. I feel like you just trust your guy at that point because he's like England's already at a very bad angle. He's gonna be taking a backhand. All Woll has to do is just cover up that corner. Just cover up the post. That's all you have to do. I don't understand why he had to dive, get a stick in there, and just create a deflection. It just does not make sense. I don't understand. Yeah, do you have a point on that?
I have England? So many. It's so hard, right? Like
let it out.
Because I don't blame that goal on Joseph Woll at all. Like there was nothing he could do, and I do think that it wasn't a very good choice by Gio to try and make the diving stop. Now, having said that, it's worked in the past where it goes into the corner, the Leafs recover, they can go the other way. Great, okay. The problem with that is that another example of a panic, uncontrolled desperation play from Mark Giordano. The puck is going towards my net. We are already down by one goal. Like, oh no, that was the first goal.
That was the first goal.
Sorry. Yeah. It was, but even though it was only their first goal, they still seered desperate.
Exactly.
Like, again, the panic desperate. Just because in the first 5-10 minutes of the game, the Kings were playing really strong. They were hard on the boards. They were getting in the way. They had good sticks. Like, I don't know how many times I'm going to say good sticks about the Kings tonight, but they overwhelmed the Leafs and they couldn't find time. They couldn't find space. They couldn't hold the puck. They couldn't make a pass. It was like in Space Jam when the monsters come in and they use the basketball and they take the basketball's power, like their power. That's what it looked like tonight.
Yeah, exactly. And like we look at that second goal, the Philip Deneau goal, and just how you said taking the power, I mean they might have taken Reaves' sight. Because Reaves was so caught off guard. Where was he looking? What was he trying to do? He was guarding absolutely nobody. So on that play, Gregor breaks a stick. He's trying to defend without a stick. As soon as he has a chance, he bolts to the bench to grab a replacement stick. And in this time, Reaves is just so bamboozled, has no idea how to react to this situation, to something he's uncomfortable with. And he just gives all the space in the world to Deneau. He was literally parked in front of our goalie with no other Kings player around at all. He's just like, do you need to tell him how to play the game of hockey? You're a professional. You've played this game for how long? Get a man. What are you looking around for?
Reaves has hurt itself in its confusion.
My God. That was one of the worst things I've seen in so long.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. like tonight was like, I will say Bertuzzi looked better tonight playing with Tavares. He looks like he's continuing to take steps, which is
Yeah.
thank
Hmm.
goodness. But like Klingberg's not getting better. And I didn't think that he was, listen, I don't think that he's Erik Karlsson or anything like that. We knew that his flaws were what they were when he was signed. And it's times like this where I'm like, so when do we trade him? Because it's just not working.
Yeah.
It's not.
I mean,
It's not.
even like his offensive side, there's so many times where you see him have some stupid play and he's just not able to get a rush going, or he stops a play or whatnot just by not being fully concentrated. Um, that's something that we brought him in for. Like, I understand if he's not defensively sound, because we knew what we were getting when we signed him, when we signed up to get him, right? We knew
Yeah.
what he was. We knew what kind of player he was. But the offensive side of the game, it hasn't really flourished as much as I would have hoped so far, right? I think that's pretty fair to say. And honestly, a lot of the players that Treliving has gotten have not really worked out as of yet, right? I know Domi, I know these guys have, it's only game 9, but and they
But it's already
have,
game 9.
yes, exactly. Like, we're gonna be one more game and we're 1/8 of the way through the season, right? We're almost a month done. Um, and they are progressing, but it's just not enough. I haven't seen enough out of them. And it's really, really, really disappointing to see. I'm just not happy with what I've seen so far. Do you like, what are your thoughts on the pickups that we've had, and how they've like progressed, I guess, like so far in the season?
It's bold of you to use the word progression there. Just saying. Um, which is kind of a statement in and of itself, right? Like, I don't think if you're watching this or if you're listening to this, you might like a couple of the names that were brought here in terms of like the actual letters in the alphabet, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like we were all pretty jazzed when Max Domi was signed. We didn't think that it was going to be, what his dad is. That's not what we expect. And if that's what you were expecting, sorry, you should have watched some pregame. Um, it's I almost feel like disappointed isn't even accurate because it's everything that we sort of unfortunately expected it to be.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right? Like I don't think anybody at the beginning of the season after training camp was like, actually, I've changed my mind and this is going to get us to the third round. Like I don't think that those conversations happened. I don't think they happened in living rooms. I don't think they happened over beers. I don't think they happened in the arena. Like I don't think they happened at the Ford Performance Center where the Leafs practice. Like it to say it hasn't been clicking is right. And unfortunately, I don't feel like the decisions that were made in terms of the pickups over the summer
Mm-hmm.
were the right decision to make. And so in turn, I don't think I can be disappointed because this is kind of what I was expecting to happen in terms of like it not working and it not connecting. Like don't get me wrong, Justin Hall is a frustrating player, but like I can't say that if you told me that we were going to sign John Klingberg for $4 million, even though I don't know a lot about John Klingberg, I might have said I think I would actually rather keep Justin Hall
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And
because
yeah, go
yeah,
ahead.
go ahead. No, please.
No, yeah, like, again, the same points. Like, the problem that we had on our defense was, again, the offensive production, or the production in the offensive side of the game, right?
Sure.
That's something we had an issue with. And Klingberg was supposed to be a solution, not the solution, because obviously, like, his defensive game is just not there, right? Um, but offensively, he should have been I guess, like a stop, or he should have helped out in that sense, right? And so far, he just has not worked out. Domi, though, is a player that I am very disappointed in, because this guy, like, he had a good season last year, right? I mean, he had how many points? It was 56 points last year, and in the playoffs, he was phenomenal for Dallas. Like, he played really, really good hockey. I thought that maybe it would have taken him some time to get his feet under him, maybe get going or whatnot. Obviously, the pressure of playing in the Leafs market with his dad and whatnot, right? It's tremendous. Um, but to not even be a quarter or even a smidge of what you showed last year is really, really disappointing. Bertuzzi, this is another guy who was injured, right? Like you said at the beginning of the show, he's making his ways to step up and get to that level that we saw him be last year, right? um
I think of all of the people that were the three people that we're talking about, because we're talking about three people.
yeah.
I think in terms of like order of like who has the most still potentially existing upswing,
Yeah.
I still feel like Bertuzzi is the top. I feel
100%.
like Domi is a 5 in the middle, and Klingberg is like chilling at a 2. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I now, having said that, how many lines has Max Domi now played on
Oh,
in 9
he's played
games?
all over the place. Like,
Right.
he's had
No
chances with
consistency.
everyone.
No consistency.
Mhm.
Right? Which I don't know if we were going to talk about this, but someone actually already mentioned it in the chat. I have well, I don't know if we should talk about it now, but like
Go for it.
the whole blender situation where all we do is mix stuff up.
Mhm.
Very rarely is it aligned together for more than a couple of games without some kind of change happening. Is tonight a good example of where Toronto might actually low-key have a coaching problem in terms of like the inability of Keefe to make adjustments either again on the power play or not trying to do the dump and chase every time they get a zone entry? Like, there was no adjustment, which was a problem last year in the playoffs. Now, again, prefacing that by saying, sure, the Leafs got into the second round, but then there was no adjustment made in the Florida series at all in
Mhm.
any way. And tonight, there were no adjustments made at all in any way.
I think you have a solid point. And like last year, I think this year is completely different from last year. There's going to be a lot of people pointing parallels to the slump that the Leafs went on early in the season last year, and then how they turned it around through as the season went on, right? But what you mentioned about the inability of Keefe to make changes in the playoffs for us last year, I mean, let's be honest, getting past that first round, getting past the Lightning, we did not deserve to win that series.
No.
We
Nope.
got lucky, right?
We said that at the time.
Exactly. And if he didn't win that first series, I mean, I'm willing to put the whole house on like that he would have been booted out. No matter what, he would be gone. He wouldn't be behind the Leafs bench this season to start, right? There are a lot of questions with Keefe at this point. I don't even know what you do because like Treliving has so many areas that he needs to focus on. This defense is clearly not enough to win the whole thing either, right? That's something he has to work on. If he has to add in a coaching change, like it's just so many aspects that's going wrong here for us, and I don't know how you can move around pieces and then also have a coaching change and expect there to be some kind of consistency and expect the team to win, right? Or play well, right? It's just a lot of different factors. And if they were going to be making this coaching change, this should have been done before the season started. And it's disappointing that we're in the position that we are right now. And who knows, maybe we'll like in a couple weeks, in a couple months, will like the Leafs will be back to what they're playing normal, right? But again, when it comes time to the playoffs, making these quick changes is important. And that's something, like you said, we haven't seen so far out of Keefe, right?
It's an existing problem.
Yeah.
Right. And I don't even know what, like, it's not uncommon for teams to make coaching changes early in the season. It's not like that doesn't happen. It's not like it hasn't even happened on the Leafs. Okay. And having said that, if you are just joining us, we are aware of the fact that the Leafs are now only 5-3-1, like they're still in the top half of the league. But the problem is they haven't really looked good all season.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, the first two
what game?
games we won off of
Yeah,
hat-tricks. Let's remember that too.
yes. Oh, for sure. And like the game against was it not the Habs? No, the Washington game where they got all those goals.
Mhm.
Right? Even that game, that they looked pretty good. That's probably the best that they've looked.
Yeah.
But very few of the games that they've won this year have they deserved to win, because a lot of the games they're squeaking wins out, but they're playing like crap for 45 minutes of it. And I think it is because I don't think it's luck. I think it is the talent of the top players that are keeping Keefe employed a little bit to some degree here. Because if the Leafs have the start that the Edmonton Oilers do, how quickly do you think Keefe is fired?
Oh, he's gone. He's out of here. He would have been packed up way before this. This would have been this would have been the last game, and yeah, we like
Right.
it would be horrible. It would be horrible. I feel bad for the Oilers fans. At least they got that win over Calgary.
Yes.
But yeah, no, I mean it's crazy. I don't see how they go about like even trying to fix this whole thing. There's a lot of glaring holes in our lineup, and Treliving's gonna have a hard time trying to get something going, trying to fix this, right?
Yeah. And again, like, I know that it's like a 1-game losing streak. I see you in the chat. We do watch this. That's not the point. It's not that they just lost tonight. It's the fact that they've won games this season. I'm not mad that they've won. Don't get me wrong. Right at the end of the year, no one goes, oh, except these 2 games at the beginning of the season, you played like crap, so let's take those points away. It doesn't work like that. But they're getting rewarded with wins after playing shitty games. And they played shitty to end the season. And they kind of played kind of shitty leading up to the playoffs. And it's the same old song and dance as last year, with the lack of ability to make adjustments and then over adjusting. Right?
Yeah, I mean, if you
lack of adjustments and then over adjusting.
Exactly, and like if you look back at all the other games throughout the season, I mean, a majority of them we've been outshot, we've been outchanced, and Wool has just been standing on his head, getting some fantastic saves. I mean, today he even had like 2 or 3 great saves. It could have easily been 6 or 7 goals for the Kings, right? This was not Wool's fault.
No.
And unfortunately, I think that Keefe is probably going to give Samsonov a chance, and he's probably going to bring him in for the Bruins game, even though this was not Wool's fault that they lost the game.
No.
Would I have liked him to have like a stop here or there? Yes. But the goals that occurred, I don't put on him at all. I mean, he's absolutely bailed us out. He should. I've chirped about this a lot, but he should have had like 2 or 3 shutouts so far. I mean, when he got brought in after Sammy let in 3, he completely like he didn't let in a single goal. The next 2 games he let in 1 goal each, and they were soft goals that were not his fault, whether it be a defensive breakdown or whatnot. Wool has looked fantastic, and unfortunately this is a situation where the team let him down, and it's tell me if I'm not repeating myself like year in year out. How many times do we have to talk about this, that the team lets them down?
At least 73 more.
Yeah.
Actually, we're only on game 9, right? And that's, you said something just now that I thought about earlier. Like, I don't put tonight's loss on Wool. I don't. Let's just go through the goals really quick. So the England goal, that's like a ridiculous, like, okay, that's just bad luck. Gio, don't be stupid. The Phil Deneau goal, that's like a defensive, Reaves hurt itself in its confusion, that goal.
Yeah.
And then the Kaliev goal, which is from distance, that's one where maybe you want Wool to save it.
Yeah. That was a power play goal. Yeah, that was a power play goal, but and Nye's goals escaped.
And he had it for more than a second, right?
That is fair.
And then going down to the Kempe goal was it was a bad play by William Lagesson, who tried to pass John Klingberg, who can't get the puck out of the Leafs zone to save his life. Right? And so it turns over, and then Kempe scores because of it flirting the net. Like, do you want him to have that one? Okay. But again, like, so two of those are on really terrible defensive breakdowns.
Yeah.
And now Liljegren was back tonight. Thank goodness he wasn't actually injured last game. It was just seemed like it was, a thing where you end the game a little early for Timmy Liljegren, but he's back playing tonight. He was okay. But like, if this is what our defense looks like at the best of times when only one defenseman on the team is down, like what happens in the playoffs when all of a sudden you're down two defensemen? Then you have William Lagesson and I don't know, Topi Niemela. And that's not great for me.
Mm-hmm.
And not when they're playing like this. And you can't, what you said before that, you made another great point, and it's like you can't the Leafs didn't score until 11 minutes to go in the third period. You can't win a game by scoring 0 goals.
Mm-hmm.
You can't. It doesn't work that way. And they weren't able to get any. There was a couple really good shots, but guess what? Posts don't count in this league.
Exactly.
And there were a couple of missed opportunities, but again, a lot of those missed opportunities because people were passing too far off the stick or too far into the skates or too far off of where the person was standing. Like there was one, I think that there was a power play opportunity with Tavares where he passed it to Austin Matthews, but he was too close to the goal and he missed it and stretched. And then the Kings get it and they go the other way and it creates an opportunity. Now they didn't let up a shorthanded goal. Okay, good job. But the whole thing is all of those decisions don't sure it's only game 9, but like it still matters, and those habits are still here 10 games in after a preseason.
Yeah, exactly. And one thing I do want to point out, I know a couple guys are talking about how the offense has been all right compared to the defense and the goaltending. I kind of want to focus on our top line because I'm a little bit concerned at this point. I know the numbers look all right, but a lot of the points that they're getting are on the power play and not on 5-on-5 hockey. So like I'm looking at Matthews, right? He's at 7 goals this season. Looks great on paper. I mean, 7 goals in 9 games. But again, 6 of those goals are in the first 2 games, and in the past 4 games, his assist, one of his assists was a power play assist. The other goal was a power play goal. So he has only 2 points on 5-on-5 hockey while playing 5-on-5 hockey. And then we look at Marner, who in 4 games, all of his points other than his 1 goal against Dallas on the 26th were all power play points. Like this is a line that was clicking, but currently is not really clicking on 5-on-5 hockey. And spoiler alert, hockey is played 5-on-5. You can't expect to be on a power play the majority of the game. And especially, I mean, I hate talking about the playoffs all the time because we got to focus on the games.
Because it's October 31st.
Exactly. You want to focus on the games on hand. But
sure,
penalties are going to dry up. Focus on trying to get something going on 5-on-5 hockey, right?
Yeah.
Like, is it just me? I feel like they've been kind of non-existent in 5-on-5.
No, you're not taking crazy pills. They haven't been good. And part of that is because they can't play defensively well at 5-on-5 the last couple games. Like there were way more opportunities that Nashville got last game than they should have. Like, it's so hard. It's so hard to figure out because there was a lot of turnover this summer in terms of personnel on the Leafs.
Yeah.
And so much of that is so visible right now. Like last year, you didn't have to worry about the Leafs. Like if they got the puck in their own end, for the most part, they would get it out. And now it's like, not only can we barely get the puck, we're usually turning it over in our own end before we can clear it again. Like it takes us getting the puck back at least a couple times in order for us to actually get it out of our zone, which is something that last year and the years before that was not nearly as much of a problem as it is now. And that's why, yeah, sure, it's only game 9, but the alarm bells are louder now. It's more noticeable. They're playing worse. They're not taking steps forward. They look worse as a team, as a whole, as a unit, line per line, player per player, than they did last year. Even at the beginning of the season. Even on that terrible California road trip. Like maybe we have to, and like maybe this is just gaslighting ourselves, right? Like maybe you and I, after this is done, maybe not because we have to go to bed. Maybe tomorrow, like we go back and we watch some game overs from the early season last year to see what our takes were like, because I can't help but feel like it's worse right now than it was then. And we have a better starting record for the season, but we're more panicked. And I don't think that it's unjustified.
You know what's also bad? Um, you're right in terms of their like so far. I mean, it has been worse to start off the season. Let's be honest. But what also frustrates me and scares me is the fact that a lot of the complaints, a lot of the issues that we're having or that we're seeing so far are similar things that we've echoed last year, right? What
Yeah.
is there to say that why would you believe that there is going to be a change in how they perform if we're constantly nailing the same issues over and over and over and over again?
I
Why
think the
like
answer is just blind stupidity.
exactly? Because I mean, like look at the last season when we got knocked out, right? We were calling for some significant change in the roster,
Yeah.
in our coaching staff and whatnot, but I'll be frank, a lot of that um has been forgotten because of the Dubas firing. Realistically, our top four is still the same guys. We were thinking about maybe swapping one of the guys, moving some people or whatnot, trying to see a different look with our team. And I don't think that this team is drastically that different from what we've seen in previous years. I mean, there's different faces. They may play slightly different, but everything goes through these top four guys. And if they're not scoring, if they're not playing up to their potential, the team can't perform.
You know who has been playing really well, though?
Uh-huh.
John Tavares.
That's
Like,
his fifth goal of the season, I think,
he
right?
is Mr. Consistent.
Uh,
Mr. Consistent. You know, like, you know what you're going to get with him. Is he the fastest player? No. But I don't know how many times this season I have seen him make a bad read, a bad pass choice, anything like that. Like, and don't get me wrong. It's a good thing that our captain is the most consistent player. That is a good thing. But boy, it's awful to watch the rest of them just try so hard to force magic. Like, there was one play tonight, I don't even know who it was, because at this point I was just hate watching. At one point, one of our players, he had the puck on his forehand or on his backhand and put it through his legs to his forehand, and it was like there was no reason to try and do that, and he lost position right away. It led to a scoring chance the other way, and it was like, why are you trying to be fancy right now? Like, now is not the time to be doing like your 360 windmills and all of these. Like, I don't want to see shit that I could see on like a Chell game. I don't want to see like you passing the puck off your own skate to yourself. Like, I don't want it. I just would like some consistency, some
mhm.
actual consistent effort, some smart pass decisions. Like, I don't need all of the song and dance. Okay. It's like, there's a great quote from a movie that says, you're creme brulee. Okay. You're this fancy thing, but maybe what you don't need is creme brulee. What you need is Jello, and creme brulee can't be Jello. And how they're playing right now, they're trying to be this fancy thing, and you just need to play a different style, and it just seems like they can't.
Yeah, yeah. And I actually just looked up JT's stats, right? And in the last 5 games, like we were just talking about 5-on-5 versus power play goals and whatnot, right? He's had one, two, three of his 4 goals in the past 5 games are on 5-on-5 hockey.
Yep.
And then one, two, three, four, five of his yeah, four of his goals on 4 of the 5 goals are on 5-on-5 hockey. This is a guy who you know exactly what you're getting out of him, and he performs all like in the areas that
As
you want him to perform
advertised.
in. Exactly, he performs as advertised.
Yep.
Now guys, there's 116 people watching. Thank you guys all for joining in on this pretty late episode on a sad game. You guys are
Welcome to the Great
absolutely
Fest.
yeah, you guys are absolutely the best. If you guys haven't already, make sure you click the like button. We're just gonna be ready to start up our presser. So if you guys have any questions, be sure to drop them below. We're going to be answering all of them. Whatever takes that you have, throw it down there, because
Yep.
boy oh boy, we all need some therapy after today's game.
Absolutely. In the meantime, should we talk about something pleasant? Like
Yes.
the Mount Rushmore?
Go for it.
So,
Go for it. I like this question.
Harnish, since we haven't done this, and all of the other SDPN shows at some point have done this,
Uh-huh.
I want to know your Mount Rushmore. So your 4 favorite mini bars to get for Halloween. What are your top 4? They don't have to be in like 1 to 4. It can be any order, but I want to know your top 4.
Okay, so I am a big caramel guy. I love caramel with all of my chocolates. So Mars bars, 10 out of 10, the best. Absolutely my favorite chocolate bar. I'm not even a big chocolate like guy. I will die for Mars bars.
Wow. Have you had a deep fried Mars bar?
No. Is that a Cia Ethan?
Oh my god. No. Oh my gosh. Harnish, you're going to lose your mind. You can get it at like Fat Bastard Burrito. They just have them on the menu.
Oh, really?
Yes. It's like $4. Oh my gosh.
All right, I'm going tomorrow. Going tomorrow.
Yes. Oh my gosh. But if you do, here's what we should do. When are we streaming together next?
I have no idea. But you want to get it for the stream?
Uber Eats one. You should like Uber Eats one and eat it on stream.
Okay. I'll write that down. I am so down.
Okay, yeah, put it on your notes.
I love how the first thing that came to my mind was CNE deep fried food.
That is a thing that they've done, but Mars bars is like you can literally get them at burrito stores.
Yeah. So Mars bars, Snickers.
Okay.
So sorry, not Snickers. Sorry. Mars bars, Twix.
Yes.
Kit Kat, and the Coffee Crisp. You gotta go Coffee Crisp. I feel like that's a big staple. I love Coffee Crisp. What about you? What do you got?
So, I am on Team CJ here, and I believe Arrow is a very underrated chocolate bar. Just saying. So Arrow is one of my 4.
Arrow is just milk chocolate with like bubbles in it.
Yeah. Sometimes simplicity is good.
Oh,
right?
Oh, there you go. I love the connection to JT.
I would rather have like an Arrow than a Mr. Big.
Okay, same.
So Arrow, Reese peanut butter cups are like, I have a problem.
Those are good.
Underrated and always forgotten, but probably my favorite currently available chocolate bar is a Wonder Bar. Wonder Bar, if you get a good Wonder Bar, they're perfect. They are like, yes.
I don't think I've ever tried a Wonder Bar.
Oh, honey.
Is that crazy? I don't think I've ever tried one. What do they look like?
We're gonna have like Harnish's snack corner. That's what you and I need to have a bit, and it's like Harnish's snack corner.
I just looked it up.
Deep fried Mars bar, and yeah.
I've never seen this in my life, so yes, I am down for that.
So this is gonna be a thing, and then I'm actually on board with you with Twix.
There you go.
But if we're gonna just for kicks, my bonus answer is because we didn't have any that were just like the sugary like gummy things. I'm a Sour Patch Kid person.
Sour Patch Kids are great. I love Skittles, dude. Starbursts. I've been munching on them way too much. Do you see these rappers? These poor kids. I've been eating their Starbursts instead of giving it to them, and I feel horrible. But they're so good.
Fine. They're much too good for children. Yeah. Oh man. Okay, so let's get to some questions here. We got a couple. Where did this loss rank in your Halloween losses? They haven't played like a Halloween game in a long time, isn't that right?
Yeah, well, I mean, last season it was the day before Halloween.
Right.
I think that this is not as bad as, honestly, it's not as bad as last game, purely because I was so confident that we were gonna win against Anaheim. I was so excited to have my banana costume out. I'm like, this is a team that's lost 7 on the trot, and I was expecting us to win. And after losing a 3-1 lead, it crushed me. Quite frankly,
did it split your banana Harnish?
Yeah. Let me pull up the picture again. That's how I felt.
Also, beautiful. There you go. Also, so Kevin Papetti actually tweeted out earlier the last time the Leafs played on Halloween. Okay, what was the top line? Did you see this earlier? What was the top line?
Oh, I have no idea. What was it? When was it?
JVR, Kadri, and Komarov.
Oh God, when was this? Like 26? What was this? 2015? 2013?
Yeah. What was our top pairing? What was our top defensive pairing?
God, I'd like Riley and was it Gardner?
No, so both of those players played that night, but Gardner was with Phaneuf, who
Uh-huh.
was still on the
Oh, that
team,
was when Fanuc was still
and
there.
Riley
Yeah,
was on
yeah,
the
yeah.
second line. Yeah.
Uh-huh. There you go.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's kind of nightmare fuel, eh? Thinking back to that, I'm
Jesus.
happy that we're not in that era.
So to answer your question, this is the worst one in the last decade because that other one was 4-0, but they sucked that year. So whatever. David W. Harnish and Lauren, do you see pressure building for a rebuild of the Leafs should they at any point this season drop 10 or more points out of a playoff spot? Full rebuild? No.
No way.
I
No
think
way.
if they fall out of a playoff spot, then there is probably a coaching change, and I would imagine that there would be some kind of major personnel change, i.e., someone or multiple people being traded, including multiple rookies, in order to try and salvage the season. I don't think they go full rebuild.
I agree. I agree. Yeah, there is no way you can completely rebuild. I mean, these guys are, you gotta remember, our kids are still like, what, 24, 25, 26. Like, they're
Yeah.
still about to get into their, they're still not like in their prime yet, right? There's still a lot more that they can give. But that being said, like 100%, this is not going to be the same team that like, there's no way we're going to feel the exact same team anymore.
Like if
There's
the
going to
Leafs
be
don't make the
so many
playoffs,
changes.
imagine if the Leafs don't make the playoffs, I think Shanny's gone and Keefe is gone.
Oh,
I think Treliving stays.
100%.
But if they don't make the playoffs, then like not to quote the yeahs, but heads will roll.
Think about it. Like the only untouchable people in my mind is Matthews, Riley on that contract because that contract is so
Yes.
sweet. Marner's is not a shoe-in. Tavares probably because nobody is gonna take him with like two
No.
more years on that hit.
And they would be dumb to trade Nylander.
Exactly. So,
Yeah.
but like, there's only two untouchable guys in that situation at that point, in my mind. Anyone can go.
The only people that I would say would be untouchable for me, and I can't believe I'm going to say this: Matthews, Tavares, Riley, Wall, Nylander.
That's a good amount. I think
Matthew Nyes.
Matthew Nice too. Yeah,
You
no.
can have Matthew Nyes when you pry him from my cold, dead little hands. They're not little. They look like they're glowing. My glow light is so bright and I'm so pasty. I'm not wearing a ghost costume, everybody. This is literally just how pale I am. Like, I look like I'm glowing. It's ridiculous.
I'm surprised your eyes aren't burning from the light. I hate having the ring light on me.
You don't even want to know how bright it goes. If I shine this too bright, you can see what I ate for lunch. I checked earlier. It's not right. It's not right. It's not right.
All right. Well, are there any?
Shall we?
I think we've hit pretty much a lot of the questions out there.
Any
so
chance Muzzin will retire but return as a power play coach? He's already on the coaching staff, so I don't think they're gonna change him. And he wasn't like power play king.
I mean, like the Leafs are just gonna hire back all their their players and find a spot for them because
I'm surprised Wayne Simmons hasn't already been hired as a coach.
Yeah.
Just saying.
What is he just gonna coach Reaves? Is that it? Make sure you get a good hit here. Throw some hands there. Let's give you some boxing lessons, like stuff like that, eh?
The senior fighting school, because it'll be SR Simmons and Reaves fighting school. There we go. And with that, let's go to bed.
Yeah, it's been a long night. Thank you guys all for staying up so late. It is 11:30 on the dot, a late game.
Yep.
The Leafs unfortunately lose to the Kings
terribly,
4-1. Yes, horribly. But we play the Bruins on Thursday, I believe. Yeah, Thursday. That's gonna be a really, really fun game. Who do you think starts in net? Woll or Samsonov? Samsonov. I agree. Yes. We're going to be back on Thursday. Be sure you tune in for that. Again, everyone who stayed up, thank you so much. We love you so much. Enjoy the rest of your night. Enjoy the rest of your Halloween. Take some time off, and we will see you back on Thursday.
Happy Halloween, everybody.